This is a major trade alert. We're going to look at exactly the price point that large whales are going to be scooping up tons of Bitcoin. You don't want to be left behind when this happens. It's time for you to buckle up. If you're new here, my name is Steve. I'm going to help you get one step closer to your financial freedom. Hit that subscribe button. Let's jump straight into the charts. This is the Gaussian channel. We're on the 5-day chart. There's blood in the streets. We have our red shirt on. There's panic. There's pandemonium. And there's nothing that whales like more than pandemonium, panic, blood, fear. They smell it. They smell it from a mile away, and they're going to come scoop up all your Bitcoin. So this is the Gaussian channel. The Gaussian channel warned us 250 days ago when we entered it. We made a lot of videos about the Gaussian channel, but it has a lot of power. It also has power for when to buy Bitcoin. All right. So if we look at the 10-year history of Bitcoin, there's been 5 data points where we were in a large uptrend. We had a big correction and we just got stuck in the Gaussian channel like quicksand. But then on the other end of it, it spit out the golden zone. The golden zone only has happened 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll talk about this in a second, but 4 golden zones. One in 2011, another one in 2014, 2015. The next one was in 2018, 2019, and then the one in 2020. This happens when price actually drops below the Gaussian channel. It doesn't happen for long. We'll talk about how long it takes in a second. But whenever price is below this Gaussian channel, it acts as the absolute golden zone. This is where all the whales scoop up all the Bitcoin that all the rookie traders sold off because of fear, greed, blood in the streets, FOMO. There's all sorts of reasons that beginner traders will trade, but they will sell their Bitcoin. We already know that based on our next chart, over the 10-year history of Bitcoin, there's 5 points in history where we were this oversold. We are one of the most oversold points in Bitcoin's history, and that's a fact. On this channel, we just talk about the facts. That's probably why you just hit the subscribe button. But the facts are, over the 10-year history, this is the 5th most oversold, meaning you want to buy Bitcoin when everyone is selling, when all the rookies are selling. They're selling, why? Because there's blood in the streets. There's fear, there's pandemonium, so people get freaked out, and it's capitulation. They give up. Okay, so this is when whales come in and they scoop it up, and it oftentimes is the best time in history. Meaning, the last time we were in the golden zone was the COVID crash. We actually made a whole video about it, and we titled it, Bitcoin Enters Rare Golden Zone. We made it on March 17th, 2020, where you can see here, we entered the golden zone, and we called it one of the best buying opportunities you will ever see. Now, hypothetically, if you did watch that video and you bought then, how would you look now? If you told your friends you bought between 6K and 4K, I mean, you would look like a superhero, right? Same in this bear market that we had here. We made same type of videos. This is the time to buy Bitcoin. Why? This is when the whales are buying Bitcoin. So why do I tell you that? Well, we just entered a pretty rare opportunity. Now let's go through a couple of the data points. So how long do we stay inside of this? On average, it's about 131 days from these data points here. You know, some of them were short-lived, like here in the COVID crash. Some of them were a bit longer, like here and here. But on average, for these 4 data points, it tells us that we should be in here for roughly 131 days. Although sometimes they're very, very quick, like this data point 1 and the COVID crash. Now, how far could we fall down? Because some of these times we enter this golden zone and we still collapse. Now, before we get into that price action, I do want to make something very, very clear, because this could make you a lot of money and save you from a lot of stress. What I'm about to tell you. What I'm about to tell you is also not financial advice, but what I'm about to tell you could be life altering if you really listen to what I'm about to say. When we made this video, of in the golden zone. So many people missed the golden zone, even though this video, we were smack in the golden zone. And I said repeatedly, this is the time to buy Bitcoin. The problem is people try to time the bottom. Now, if you look at it, and what I said repeatedly during this time we were here, it doesn't make any difference if you bought at 6,000 or 5,000 or 4,000. You still look like a damn superhero right now. There's not much difference when you fast forward a few years, whether you buy Bitcoin at 35,000 or at 30,000 or at 28,000, because that's what's going on in your head right now. You're trying to think, when am I going to buy? 28 or maybe 30 or maybe 34? Who cares? Take those thoughts and throw them in the garbage, because that's where they belong. In the big picture, when you fast forward a few years from now, that's laughable, the thoughts you have. And I've been in crypto since 2017, and we've talked about this time and time again when we were down here, that there's no difference between 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. I'm going to stress it again. A lot of people that you'll find on YouTube are fairly new into crypto. I'm telling you from experience. And I started in the stock market 21 years ago when I was 16. I've been around during these kind of crashes. I'm telling you from experience. Now, can Bitcoin fall down further? Yes. Let's look at the facts and talk about where, because we drew this box pretty strategically, and we'll tell you in a second. We talked about the 131 days. That's when we're entering here, and we could potentially stay until May 31st of this year, right? That's if it stays on average from these 4 data points. Keep in mind, some of them are short, some of them are longer. Now, how far can we fall? Could we fall further from where we are now? Let's discuss that for a second. One of the things I will say, and we'll stress this yet again, we're the 5th most oversold we've ever been, period, in Bitcoin's history. That's the time to really wake up, smell the blood, and attack, all right? This is a game. You want to win the game. It's time to attack. Now, this is not financial advice, but I want to help you as much as I can. Does this mean Bitcoin can't go down further? Hell no. It could definitely go down. And how much? Let's look at the facts, right? Of these 4 data points, we have one data point that went down 34%, 60%, 50%, and 44%. If you take the average of those 4, it's 47%. So we drew this box strategically to illustrate that Bitcoin could drop 47% based on these numbers here, which could bring us to a low of about 19K, right? So if you bought Bitcoin at 35 or 30 or 28 or 25, it makes no difference a few years from now. The only problem is your greed. You have to control your greed. The only reason you want to wait for 35 or 34 or 30 is greed. That's the only reason. If you're going to win this game, the emotion you have to control is greed. And you've got to be able to control all your emotions, but the biggest one is greed. The only thing you're thinking of, let me wait till 28, let me wait till 27, that's only greed. The big picture is if you bought anywhere in here, if you fast forward a few years from now, you'll look like a damn superhero. And that's a fact. It's just the facts and the charts. We don't go below this Gaussian channel very often, and sometimes it's short-lived. So I hope I've made myself clear. This is not financial advice, but this is where whales are going to buy a lot of Bitcoin. And they're going to buy it from all the people that are selling. And who's selling? Everybody. We're the most oversold, the 5th most oversold in history. Whales are going to come in, they smell the blood, and they're going to scoop it all up. So do not be left behind. You can take a look at this video. I think we'll link this down below so you can see what we said during the COVID crash. You also take a look at this chart and keep in mind we are in fear. Okay, we're in extreme fear, as a matter of fact, and that's when you really want to be having the mindset of buying, not selling. But the funny part is, this is probably when you felt the most urge to sell. You probably haven't felt this in quite a while since the COVID crash, this feeling of selling. And you have to remember, you're not a part of the herd anymore. The herd wants to sell right now, and they are in large amounts, okay? but you're not a part of the herd. You want to do the opposite of them. The hardest thing to control is your emotions. The biggest emotion is greed. And if you can tackle that, you're on a golden path. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Also check out when to sell cryptocurrency. It'll be linked down below. Check out our website, cryptocrewuniversity.com. Check out the Twitters at CryptoCrewU, and we'll see you right back here on the next video. Peace and love to the fellow underdogs.